All right, I am live. Let me adjust this camera. This is going to be a quick live stream. I'm just trying to see if Jesus will hop on. He asked me a question in one of my comments. So I'm not doing the 5 minutes of fame. It's already late in the West Coast, right? Approximately 10:30. I mean East Coast. I'm sorry. Approximately 10:30 in the East Coast, and it's about 9:20 my time. So this is going to be a quick scope, but I want to see if Jesus will hop on real quick. He asked me a question about credit cards, and I just want to get his comment. Let me fix my shirt. Said he was watching the podcast. All right, Jesus, I just went live for you. Just gonna tell you, I decided to go live for you. But we still got San Antonio. Hello, San Antonio, coming in. You all can do the 5 minutes of fame. Do you all want to do the 5 minutes of fame real quick? Jesus, I just really came onto this live stream because I wanted you to share. Right, I wanted you to share. Hello, Nyla. I want you to share that information you will share with me concerning the. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna put the timer on for some people are coming in. Maybe a little earlier in your time on the West Coast. So let me share this. You all can go ahead. Hello, hello, hello. I like the way you said that. That's why I started a lot of my live streams just saying hello, hello, hello. Right. So we're going to go ahead and do the 5 minutes of fame, right? I guess I give you all what you want. ST St. Louis. Hello, Anthony. STL is in the house. Hello, Anthony coming in. Okay. Jesus says he was listening to a podcast, said that credit cards are cash credit. What do they mean by that? Are you saying that credit cards can be converted into cash? What do you mean when you say credit cards are cash credit? All right. What exactly did that explain? And I'm not on my usual. Let me pull up. Okay, let me go back. You all just got out the screen for a quick second. That's some of you all. All right, he's saying cash is a risk-free credit. So are you saying credit cards is a risk-free credit, Jesus? Are you saying credit cards? So he says credit cards are like getting production ahead of time. Jesus, you really confused me on this. Hello, Martin, coming in from the 313. Chi-Town is in the house. All right, we have 2 minutes and counting for you all to come in. 2 minutes and counting down for you all to come in and say hello. Someone still commenting on some of my videos said, "Wake 'em up, Queen." Jesus, I have no idea what you mean. You said credit cards are like getting production ahead of time. All right, Houston asks from Houston, Texas, am I a member of PenFed? Do you need to wait 91.3, such as Navy Federal, to apply for the next credit card product? What do you mean by 91.3? All right. Do you mean 3 inquiries? I am a member of PenFed. Do you need to wait 91.3? I have no idea what you mean by 91.3. So elaborate what you mean by that, and I will try to answer that question to the best of my ability. So if you are coming in, right, it's not late in your time, then you still have a minute and counting to get in the 5 minutes of fame. Okay, Hensler asks, with PenFed, do you have to wait 91 days and 3 statements to apply for a credit card? What are you saying, 3 banking statements? I know it's a little late, but you gotta have to, kind of elaborate more on your 3 banking statements. I never had to wait for banking statements to apply for any type of credit card. Jesus says, I've never heard of waiting for 3 banking statements, right? I've heard of 90 days waiting to request for a credit limit increase, but I've never heard of 90 days waiting for 3 banking statements to apply for a credit card. And, Jesus says, as we have 10 seconds, so a credit card gives you credit for your work you haven't done yet. Oh yeah, that's my background, More. Martin says he loves the logos. Yeah, that's one of my logos in the background that I put. Let me see, can I move? Do it this way. I can't do it. My green screen. So, Jesus said credit card give you credit for work. Oh Lord, Jesus, what podcast were you listening to? I'm all confused, but these are some things about credit cards, right? Normally requires that you report. You don't have to, it's stated income, right? Some of the advantages of using credit cards. And they're called credit cards because it is credit, right? It is credit extended to you. And oftentimes it's not income based, right? Yeah, I'm getting some comments on my other videos. People saying having excellent credit is not for lazy people. And so, okay, macro and cheese. I haven't heard of that podcast. I'll look for it though. You can put stated income and household income for credit cards. Thanks for the digital love. I see that heart. Thank you on Facebook. You can put stated income, household income, however we are in a credit crisis, right? Where it's not going to be as easy as it has been in the past. And actually, I was watching the Lakers game that I really thought that they would lose, right, at the end. But as I was watching the game, I'm usually always listening to credit in my downtime. Very informative video that I share with you real quick, real briefly. But you can liquidate credit cards, meaning you can convert credit cards into cash, right? And the best reason why I love them is because it's unsecured debt, meaning that oftentimes you can negotiate with the creditors. There's little recourse, right? If the account goes into default or you're not able to pay, right? Thank you, Brian, for those comments on YouTube. Thank you so much. So those are reasons why I love credit card debts. They're usually easier, or credit cards, right? Credit, not debt. They're usually easier to obtain. And so many different ways, so many different uses you can use with credit cards. Trading options says, easy for you though. working on your behalf, right? Because you are the queen of credit. What's easy for me? I don't know what you're talking about. What's easy? So let me share with this. Jesus said he'll send me an email. Jesus, I went live just so you can explain it to me on my live stream. You tell me you're going to explain it later. Can't explain it now, Jesus. Let me share this with you all. And let me know if you can hear it.
It's about social economics. It's about I'm gonna say black empowerment, because some people have heard me say I understand it, but my focus be on money.
Right.
So it is more than just about credit, because I just use credit as a means to try to help people get into a better financial position to better their lives, the lives of their family. Because at the end of the day, my philosophy is, if it don't make dollars, it sounds cliche. We know that cliche don't make sense to me.
Right.
So, I just try to provide a blueprint to help people use what they have, which is credit, use that and manifest that into their green dollar, to pave some roads for themselves.
That's great. So I want to ask you this, because it's like the boogeyman in the room right now. Like, a lot of people saying they are afraid of the times, the fear of the unknown. How will Donald Trump, being president of the United States, how will he affect credit?
How? Two ways. He will help. He'll be a help to you if you understand business credit, and if you understand how to take business credit, get the funds from business credit, and invest that into real estate. And the reason I say that is because it is. Like, you got to understand, a lot of people that Donald put into these administrative positions, man, they came from Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs owns TransUnion, right? One of the 3 largest credit bureaus. On top of that, what Donald's administration is also trying to do, they are trying to debunk the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And what I mean by that, they're trying to filter it down. Like, a lot of people say that it doesn't have a whole lot of power, but the guy who runs the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, he's actually been deemed like one of the most powerful men in government, because they were created. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was like the brainchild of Elizabeth Warren. She was like this real big consumer advocate, and it was put in place to police Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So now, fast forward, Donald Trump's in office. If you just pay attention to who he's putting in place, like these cats from Goldman Sachs, which plays a big part when it comes to credit, the credit industry, and they're trying to filter down, water down, take away the power from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which will make it harder for consumers that's trying to correct their credit, get things deleted that are inaccurate, get things deleted that they are not, it may be a debt that's been created by a third party collection agency. So, all those things, you got to look at, you got to examine and see how it affects poor people the most. The good thing about having Donald Trump in office is this, because he is a businessman, and a lot of things taking place behind the scenes right now. I wish I could go all the way into it. That's like a whole nother interview with banking, with business banking. Like, remember I said this, within the next 9 to 10 months, you'll see the bank start to open up and lend more to small businesses, especially if you got your paperwork in place. It'll be like 2007 when you was able to do the stated income loans with a startup company. you're able to get 50,000 and below without having to produce any type of paperwork.
All right, so he said able to get 50,000 and below without having to produce any type of paperwork. And I shared that clip with you all to make you think, right? To also make you think. Now, this video was aired 2017, right? He said that the banks would get more, small businesses would get more loans, right? And in 9 to 10 months, this is on point, on accurate of what he stated. You had a paycheck protection loans that's, being dispersed or already dispersed this year during this economic. Another thing you probably want to catch that he said in that clip is that Goldman Sachs owns TransUnion, and that is becoming harder, or was becoming harder under Trump's administration because of this. And he have people in office from Goldman Sachs to get negative items deleted from your credit report. Now, I teach all of this, how to leverage credit to get assets, right? And that's what I want people to do. But we are entering a time period where some of you all is going to catch this message too late, right? Some people, and I shared this video to someone asked how to get in contact with me. Go to my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com. Go to credit help. So that's how you can get that consultation on the credit help. And yes, it's Corey P. Smith. Martin said the king of credit, I think. John, same thing with you. Go to my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com. And so the credit rules have changed. And if I would have continued to play that video, he goes on to talk about how President Trump is an actor, right? More than anything, he had to show The Apprentice and things like that. He's used to acting. That's what he does, right? And a lot of people, when you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know the strings that's being pulled, right, and maneuvered behind the scenes, you take what you see on the television as truth, as bond. And so that's why I don't argue with people anymore to say I can fix my own credit. Let me tell you, it's taking longer now. It's much more difficult now. And the credit agencies more, like, for example, did you all know that every time a hard pull, an inquiry or inquiry, right, tomato, an inquiry or inquiry is made on your credit report, that the 3 credit agencies get paid? Every time you go shopping for a vehicle and you get your credit pulled and it's machine gun and they send it out to 16, 19, 25 banks, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, they get paid, right? It is much more profitable for these big businesses, right? They are not federal bureaus, to get paid off of your bad credit than your good credit, right? And I tell people all the time, listen, I don't get a dime from your bad credit, right? Meaning that when you pay high interest rates, you're paying that to the banks. You're making the banks richer while you get poorer. I don't get a dime off of you having bad credit. So why would I volunteer to fix your credit for free? I'm not the one getting rich off of your bad credit anyway. And you're the one getting poor, right? And so I'm just telling you all, it's harder to fix your credit right now if you don't have the expertise and the knowledge. I'm not saying it's impossible. People are asking me, should I set up an LLC if our credit is challenged? No, you should not set up an LLC, because in order to get business credit, you are going to have to use your personal credit as leverage. You're going to have to be a personal guarantee. So it does not matter if you have an LLC, if your personal credit is not in position, you're not going to get approved for credit. What he meant in that video clip by more businesses would get more money, he's meaning from the government, not from Chase Business Inc. credit card, right? He's meaning through the government, through like PPP loans, setting up an LLC to do what? It is so many different moving pieces of getting qualified for business credit. In your personal credit, you still gonna have to be a guarantee. You still gonna have to be a personal guarantee, right? Even if the LLC does not automatically set you in position to get business credit, they're gonna want to pull your personal credit score, right? And so, you're welcome, John. So again, yeah, it's getting a little late, but this last clip that I think I tried to share last night that I couldn't share. Let me pull this up. This is another clip that I
Credit. I mean, the information that I provide. My life and me going through my different.
Get into situations that will put them in long-term debt.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, when you think about it, I have a saying where I say education is overrated. I actually have.
Okay, let me share this with you. I think just the one.
A t-shirt that I wear sometimes that says education is overrated. And my reason for saying that is because in the traditional sense, I think we are being bamboozled, throughout our 12 years of school. They're not, even college, because they're not giving us real life lessons. You don't find out about credit and the impact that it can have on your life until you out of college or out of high school and you're actually in that situation where you have already damaged your credit. And it's their way by design, man. Where there is ignorance, there are those people there to exploit that ignorance.
Mm-hmm. You make a pretty bold statement, Corey, in the book. I want to read it and then have you kind of talk about it, okay? Because I think it's something that people, may get some raised eyebrows, and I want you to give you an opportunity to talk about why you said it. This is what you wrote in the book. You see, the fact that I was providing some of the rules to the game to those who are not supposed to know made me a threat, or should I say a credit terrorist. The majority of people do not understand that we are not customers, but in fact, like cattle or sheep, used as commerce for those corporations ran by the rich to create more wealth for themselves. Think about it. If you are not happy with the service you're receiving from any of the three major credit bureaus, you cannot take your business elsewhere. That was an interesting thing. Talk to us about that, about what you say about the majority of people do not understand that we are not customers, but in fact, like cattle or sheep.
Right. What I mean by that statement is the banks and the lenders are the actual customers, because that's how the credit bureaus make the bulk of their money. As far as,
all right, we're gonna stop there. He's saying the banks and the lenders are the actual customers, because that's how the credit agencies, bureaus make most of their money, right? That's how they make most of their money. So when you are a slave to debt or bad credit, just like the statement I just made, you're making the banks rich while you get poor, right? Because that eats up your cash flow, and you can't use your credit for what is designed to use for, what the rich and wealthy use it for, which is to make you richer so that you can invest in assets. It does not take your money to make money. What you have to understand is that if you make an investment with your cash money, you have to ask yourself, how long will it be in order for me to get a rate of return, to get my money back, my initial money back, the cash back, and then to start making profit when you use your money. And let's be honest, with so many people living paycheck to paycheck, it's hard. It was just recently 1 out of 4 Americans had at least $400 in the bank for emergencies. This is what 2 jobs will not get you, right? Good evening, Claude. Having good credit will get you faster than having 2 jobs would ever get you. However, we're in an era now where banks lending is getting harder, more difficulty, and getting negative items on credit report is getting more challenging. Trading Options says, I was saying, even the credit rules are changed for the average person. You being the queen still have the tools to navigate the change on our behalf. I do, but it gets more difficult, which means people are gonna have to understand the rules are changing. It's going to be cheap real estate, right? Houses, multi-units, or will go bankrupt. And people are still, don't want to invest in having good credit so they can come up. They can be a recipient of that so they can purchase assets. People still ask me what books to read, what do this. Well, you just keep on. You read your books for a year. You're not gonna. If it was one book that I can recommend to teach people to really fix and repair their credit and not the theory of credit, which Corey P. Smith in his book, he talks about the theory of credit, right? The conspiracy of credit. Everything he's telling you how the laws are set up against you, by how he uses credit, he leverages credit to get assets, right? How he was a credit millionaire. Not a whole lot about the strategies of fixing and repairing your credit, because I tell people all the time, when people have that knowledge, it is so powerful. Why would they put it in a $7 book, right? Or even a $19 book. And so, but I've read numerous books on credit all the time. I love studying the topic, but a lot of it came right on my own research in my own time, on my just breaking down and reading the credit laws, right? And, listening to some people here and there, maybe on YouTube, they give you bits and pieces, but no one is going to hand you that key when it can make them thousands or millions of dollars, right? And I'm telling you, I read all of this, so I don't recommend books to people anymore, because you have to be able to really break down and understand the credit laws and the language, because even like Corey P. Smith books right now, they're really outdated, and some of the examples that he showed will not work now in 2020. Because what happens that after so many letters, the same type template letters get sent to the credit agencies, the system begins to just dispute them out or kick them out of the system, because after so many times of the same templates coming through, it recognizes it and it automatically rejects the request to get those items removed, updated, or deleted. And that's why I don't give my letters out. I don't give my intellectual property out right now, because I don't want, right, thousands of people circulating my letters and watering them down and making them non-powerful or non-effective. And so after a while, of selling thousands of template letters, once the algorithm picks it up, the eOscar, the credit agency, is automatically verified and is not effective, right? Non-effective. So I'm signing off. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I want to play this portion.
You to be able to share that information and then to see people actually being able to apply it.
Oh man, it excites me. I get very excited when I.
Second time you've made that statement. And I want to ask you, because I know when you and I initially connected with each other through email, I was thinking about, what people have said, not only about the information you've shared in the book, but also that you shared through your speaking engagement. What is it like for you to meet someone that seems to get it, that seems to understand that, what, this is something I need to pay attention to. This is something I need to know the most I can about. What is it like for you to be able to share that information and then to see people actually being able to apply it?
Oh man, it excites me. I get very excited when I see the light bulb go off in people's mind. Like I get excited, and it causes me to try to engage them even more. For the most part, people want real information. They don't like. I'm not Susan Norman. I'm not Dave Ramsey. I'm not gonna tell you no dumb stuff like, well, if you have a collection, go pay it off. No.
Let me pause that. He said he's not Susie Orman. He's not Dave Ramsey. He's not going to tell you any dumb stuff like, if you have a collection, go pay it off, right?
You don't pay it off. You don't negotiate with them. You make them take it off. And there are ways that.
He said you don't pay it off. You don't negotiate with them. You make them take it off your credit report, right?
Do that, and I talk about that in the book. Because no matter what, it's not going to improve your credit. Tax liens, public records, there are truly ways to take that off. And I provide examples of that in the book. I use that.
Now, again, this is an old video. Tax liens are actually not even reported on credit reports anymore, right? So it's an older video, right? But still effective in his knowledge and what he's teaching, what he's saying. So if you're going to use credit, and unfortunately, we're at a time period now where people just need credit cards. They're maxed out of their credit cards just to pay their bills and get essential items that they need because of their job situation, right? But I'm not saying it's too late to get in. It's never too late to get your credit contract, right? But I'm just saying that we are in an era where it's going to take, I think, professional help and expertise, and the negatives may not get deleted as quickly as they would have just a year ago. And using credit to invest takes some knowledge. It takes some due diligence. It takes research, right? And that's why many people don't want to do it. We are in a generation where people are actually lazy. They really are lazy. And the most they want to use credit for is to swipe their cards and buy liabilities, things that depreciate in value, because that does not take a very high financial IQ. Once you start doing things like this and making moves like this, and then I'm logging off, it takes a higher. I'm still in the process of learning how to acquire more credit, right? And how to be able to analyze a great real estate deal when these multi units properties come up for cheaper, and when they're on sale, right, quote unquote, because real estate is the route that I want to go in. So that's why I never offer financial advice on my channel. I just offer the financial education. And I ask other people, don't give financial advice unless you have firsthand knowledge, meaning that you yourself have went through the experience, right, of doing these strategies to help other people, because we are in a very serious time where people are desperate financially as well as they should be, and the economy is not going to get any better. Right, the economy, won't get any better for a long time. So let me read this. Right, that it doesn't take a high financial IQ to buy things or purchase things with credit cards that depreciate in value or don't have any value at all. That's true. Right. And the first thing people have to start is knowing what are assets and what liabilities are. So I'm logging off. That's my 35 minutes of fame. Again, if you want to contact me for credit help, or you want to expand your cash flow in this economy, you also go to my website, fixmycreditandcash.com. We have home-based business opportunity that's helping thousands of people do that. It's very, fun, but, opportunity to make big money, right? Lots of money. It's money motivated, but also we get to help others. We have fun doing it, and it's very detail oriented as well. For those people who need to work from home on a virtual home-based business program to create cash flow. We also have experts in there that teach people how to effectively set up an LLC through an X Corp exchange, and they give you the reason and logic for doing it. And that's all the financial education within the home-based business as well. So I'm signing off. You get the information on my website. You all have a great night. Here's to your health and your wealth, your peace and prosperity, and your credit and your cash flow. Queen of Credit out. Thanks, Queen. You're welcome, Lauren. You all have a